our episode this week is gonna be eat well, eat healthy, and actually how to burn fat, lose weight while eating. Okay, and this is interest for
Tall order.
And if you're interested in this, yeah, you are in the right place. Okay, so actually, a lot of people, when they first think of eating, what do they think of? They think of putting on weight, right? And this is a general underlying misconception that they have, right? But as Jeff spoke about in the previous sessions, when we went through our exercise, when we spoke about body composition, it's not really about weight, but really what composes that weight, right? We really want to focus on building muscle and burning fat, right? And how does a healthy eating plan help achieve that? And so today we're going to show you that it is possible to eat and burn fat at the same time, right? And we don't mean by starving yourself. So it's not so much how much we eat, right? But what we eat, when we eat, and how we eat that's important, okay? To help us achieve that burning while eating. Okay? So let's get into it. So G, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. What we eat, how we eat, and when we eat. That's so interesting. We have to try to answer those three questions, right? Okay, so what we eat, I think that's the first thing. We have these things like, what are we eating? We're actually eating food, right? But what do we really need? Actually, our body does not need food. Our body needs nutrients, So sometimes one of the mistakes that we make when we eat is that we are thinking in terms of filling the stomach. Okay, now there's nothing wrong with filling the stomach, okay? But the key to eating well, enjoying your food, and yet not putting on weight actually is to eat such that you have macronutrients, which is the fats, the carbs, the proteins, but you also have micronutrients, which are all the minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients, and the antioxidants that will help your body function well. Okay, now when the body doesn't function well, guess what? Your fats and your carbs, you just eat a little bit, wow, you start to put on weight, right? So we're going to talk about these two aspects, macronutrients and micronutrients. All right, now let's look at the macronutrients, okay? Oh yeah, okay, sorry, let's talk about the micronutrients first. Sorry, this is the slide. Okay, this is something that is an issue with our eating these days. Do you wonder why, you eat now and then it seems like you just put on weight so easily, right? Well, one of the things is that more and more we are getting less and less nutrients in our food. Okay, so you can see here, because of soil depletion, early harvest, and a long time to market, we are actually getting less nutritional value. So take a look at for example, you can see because of soil depletion, okay, but you can see here also, just how fresh are the fresh fruits that we have. By the way, this is not something that I drummed up. This is something that you can get from the internet. It's from theguardian.com. An apple, a fresh apple that you get in your supermarket, typically it could have been last year's harvest. All right, and even something as fresh as lettuce could be as old as a month old. Okay, so of course, with all of that early harvest, soil depletion, right, preservatives to bring it to you, you have less and less nutrients. So one of the things we want to talk about is eat your macronutrients, your fats, your protein and your carbs, but add on the micronutrients so that you can have the good, you can have a total nutrition for your body. Okay?
Okay, thanks, G. Okay, so the next thing that we want to speak about, so your nutrition, getting enough nutrition is key to making sure your body is functioning well in order for it to burn fat. Because once again, if you're not getting enough nutrition, it's not going to operate well and it's not going to burn as much. Okay, so the second thing that we want to look at is portioning. How much to eat and what to eat of what, right? And how much to eat of what. So how much of each food category to eat? G?
Okay, traditionally, we always say 3:2:1. Okay, in other words, 3 parts of carbohydrate to 2 parts of protein to 1 part of fat. All right. Um, it is wisdom. It is wise. Okay. However, in our modern in our modern lifestyle, we have to adjust from that. Okay, and one of the main reasons is that we don't do much physical work anymore, so the carbs need to go down. So one of the things that I would suggest is look for less carbs. Okay, and then the protein is very useful. It used to be a mid-level of protein because of course people were poor. It was easier to fill their stomachs with carbs, right? But nowadays we don't have this issue, so it's good for us to eat more protein. All right, because the protein can be used in the body for building muscle, or it can be used in the body to as fuel. Okay, and then of course veggies. Chris?
Yeah. So thanks, G. So Jeff mentioned a really key point. Actually, down here, the focus is protein and vegetables, as you can see in new diets. So veggies tend to be caloric deficit, meaning that as we eat, sometimes you don't gain as much calories as you do by digesting it. Some veggies are like that. And also protein, right? Not only are they building blocks of muscle, which allow you to have a maintain or build muscle mass, which help you burn throughout the day. Not only that, it's also a burning food, right? So what it does is it actually requires your body to use more energy to digest it, and therefore it elevates your metabolism, causing you to burn more throughout the day. Right? So protein and down here and veggies are key. That's why it's the focus. Okay, so some examples, practical examples of what meals look like in this eating to lose plan, right? So as you can see, the protein portions are larger. Down here, as you can see, we have got a selection of non-meat protein and protein, a large amount of veggies and a smaller amount of carbs. So just to give you a sense, this is not exactly, of course, it will vary according to your size, your level of activity, but this is just to give you a general sense of what are the proportions of each category to eat. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So how? So we've talked about how much the portioning of each type of food per meal. Now let's talk about the size and the portions of food each meal that you have, right, in relation to the whole day. So number one, so in this diagram you can see that generally we have a bigger amount of breakfast and lunch, and a smaller amount of dinner. Jeff, have you heard of this saying? Eat breakfast like a king and then eat dinner like a pauper?
Yeah, absolutely.
Familiar, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
This age-old wisdom actually has scientific backing behind it, right? So two keys that generally people seeing this would be will sort of sit up and notice, right? Number one, generally we have smaller breakfast. If not, we skip our breakfast totally. And number two, usually people have a larger dinner, right? This one sort of inverts that. But why this is so important to have a solid breakfast, solid lunch, and a smaller dinner? Okay, very simply, a solid breakfast will help us kickstart our metabolism, right? By providing an influx of energy, allowing us to immediately elevate our metabolism so that we start burning immediately once we wake up. Okay. Number two, a smaller dinner is because activity level is just simply less at dinner. So if you eat a big dinner while you have less output, the excess energy or calories will be basically stored as fat. Yeah. So that's a really important thing that you just want to take note of. Yeah. Okay. So there are many newfangled diets around. You've heard of the keto diet, the Atkins diet. Some intermittent fasting. Super count calories. A lot of new age diets. Jeff, what do you think of them? Any opinion?
Okay. First, I must tell you, I'm very Chris and I, of course, are very big on fitness and all that, which is why we're doing this. But I did study nutrition, okay? I did do a course on nutrition, and I want to tell you that I believe that traditional wisdom is always good. It's a good place to start. So I don't agree with many of the new age diets. For example, you talk about a diet where you can eat as much protein as you want, but no carbs at all. The body does use carbohydrates and the body does use proteins. And yes, it is safer to have more protein and to have less carbs. But to say no carbs at all, I think that smacks against very basic biological wisdom. Okay. Similarly, if you say that you can eat as much fats as you want, but you cannot eat proteins or carbs, then it I think it manipulates the body's chemistry. Yes, our bodies all have an ability to adjust. Okay, and maybe in the short term, when the body is adjusting, you might find, wow, I feel more energy, etc., etc. But we're really talking about long-term health, right? And sustainability. I think that's the important thing. So, what are the health effects if we were to do that? All right. So I would, for myself, I would follow something that is safe.
Yeah, yeah, great perspective. And really, as I mean, all of us want to look better. All of us would want to lose some excess weight. All of us want to lose some excess fat. But let's not do it and compromise the health, right? Because that's ultimately our long-term goal. And like what Jeff mentioned, it's also about sustainability. How much can you continue to be eating your fat? Eating just a total fat diet when you see your friends going out for char kway teow or fried rice. I mean, it's not really practical on such a restricted diet to do it long term. Okay, so generally we advocate for a balanced diet. Okay, so we've covered nutrition, having proper nutrition to burn. We've covered having the proper meal, food portions and meal portions to burn. Okay, now how do we structure and schedule our meals and our eating in order to burn and lose fat? Yeah, and increase our metabolic rate. So there are 3 key principles. Number 1, consistency is key. What do we mean consistency? Consistency in terms of your size of meals and also the time that you eat. So that regularity, if you have an eating schedule, let's say you eat breakfast at 9 a.m. every day, you eat lunch at 1 p.m., you eat dinner at around 7 p.m. You generally want to stick around that timing, and not like jump all over the place. One day 12 p.m. lunch, one day 4 p.m. lunch. It doesn't help your body that way. Why is consistency key? Is because when it comes to elevating your metabolism, it is the output for your body, okay? And your body won't dare to elevate its metabolism and burn more if it doesn't know when the next meal is coming, okay? So when your body gets into a rhythm, what we call a diet rhythm, okay, and it knows regularly, okay, at what time can I expect that new influx of food to come in, it will elevate its metabolism and allow you to burn more. Okay, the next key principle is regular spacing between meals. So consistency and now regular spacing. What do you mean by regular spacing? That means the time in between your both meals. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What is the time in between? Generally, we recommend less than 5 hours. And why that's so important is because if it's longer, right, your body will go into what we call starvation mode. So if it's too long, like your metabolism will lower so that it won't expand so much, and it'll get into fat storage mode, right? So the next time you eat, they'll store more fat. Yeah, so that's why the regular spacing is more important. Yeah, I think Jeff one time he mentioned to me that it was like a power saver mode, right? So if you have it too long, your body will go into power saving mode, which we don't want, right?
Yeah, can I just say, yeah, this power saving mode, I fast once a year. Usually, I follow the church cycle where we fast from July to August, and I try to skip lunch. Usually I have lunch at 1 o'clock, but I try to skip lunch. And the second I tell you by 1:05, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling cold, and I'm feeling miserable. I'm feeling weak, you know. And hey, it's only 5 minutes lah, for crying out loud. So this thing about that the cycles of eating and the body going into starvation mode and going into power saving mode, it is true. If you just try fasting once, you will find that it is so. Once you break it out, the body metabolism changes. Sorry. Back to
Yeah.
you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, G. Okay. So the next principle that we want to look at is breakfast and dinner timing. Okay. So number one, consistency. Number two, regular spacing within meals. Number three, breakfast and dinner timing. So why is this so important? Number one, breakfast should be soon after you wake up, preferably less than 1.5 hours after. Why this is important is because a breakfast soon after we wake up allows a kickstart to the body to start its metabolism burning for the rest of the day, right? So after we wake up, if we don't eat our breakfast, what happens is our body goes into power saving mode, our metabolism goes down, our fat storage goes up. Yeah, and that's why when we eat a big influx for lunch, right? Generally our metabolism is low, our fat storage is up, and our body is not burning. So that's one of the reasons why we feel sleepy after that, along with the influx of sugar. Okay, so breakfast is important. Dinner timing is key also. So you want to eat an early dinner more than 4 hours before sleeping. Okay, generally we recommend before 7:30 p.m. So why is this important? This is important because as when we eat, we want to make sure that we've finished digesting our food by the time we go to sleep. Because if you eat it too late, by the time you're sleeping, your body is still digesting. And when you're sleeping, and all the energy and the food that you're not used up, it will just basically be stored as fat. Okay, so you don't want to do that. And number two, because if your body is still digesting food when you're sleeping, okay, it won't be able to use the energy to detox. Yeah, so these are three key principles: consistency, regular spacing, breakfast and dinner timing. Okay, just a couple other tips for you. So skipping and cutting down of meals. Okay, is it good, recommended? Jeff, what do you? Any opinion?
Well, as I was saying just now, definitely not. A lot of people they like to they're very proud of themselves, when they skip a meal, right? I mean, I'm sure you hear that, your colleague says, "Oh, I don't eat lunch," or "Oh, I don't eat breakfast," or it's not good because of this thing about the starvation cycle. Now, the thing is that the body can be trained, right? It can be trained, but we want to use conventional science to do the best wisdom so that we can have the best of both worlds. Okay, so skipping meals, no, I don't agree. Cutting down on meals, I think the portion that you can have is you can have the portion that Chris talked about earlier. And one of the best ways to do it psychologically is to use a smaller dinner plate, because when your dinner plate is really big and then you only put a little bit of food, you already feel tak shok. Okay, so use a smaller dinner plate, you will feel better.
Yeah, that's an excellent tip. Thanks, Jeff. So maybe you can comment in the chat, or put a thumbs up, if you are one of the people who used to skip meals in order to lose weight last time. You can just comment me or put a thumbs up. Yeah. So this is a very common idea, right? Hey, let me eat less. Let me eat 2 meals a day, 1 meal a day, and that will help me lose weight. But actually, it doesn't, because once again, when we skip meals, our body doesn't know when our next input is coming. It will lower its metabolism. It will go into power saving mode. It'll start storing more fat. So actually, when you skip a meal and then when you eat a meal afterwards, right? When you eat a meal afterwards, what happens is that most of that meal will be converted into fat, because your metabolism is low, you're burning less, and your body thinks that, hey, I better store more in case the next because I don't know when the next meal will come.
Yeah, in case this joker doesn't eat again.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay. So in line with that same point, okay, you don't want to be starving. Like in between meals, you want to make sure that you're not incredibly hungry. So you're gonna say, so some people are hearing this and say, okay, don't skip meals, regular meals, and they think to themselves, okay, I'm not gonna skip meals, but I'm gonna just eat this amount. I'm gonna eat my protein and vegetable and carbo and just little mouthful like this. No, doesn't work. Okay, you don't want to actually get into a starvation mode. Okay, so you don't want to be stuff yourself to be full, to be absolutely bloated, but you don't want to be starving. So why is that? Is once again, it triggers your body to lower your metabolic rate and store more fat, right? And also the next meal that you eat, you tend to gorge yourself and overeat, right? So what to do when you're starving? You just want to take a small healthy snack, maybe vegetables, maybe some clean protein, just a small healthy snack, yeah, in between to stave off until your meal. So the final tip is no carbs after 6 p.m. Yeah, generally in the evening, once again, our meal size is restricted. You want to prioritize the protein and the vegetables. Yeah, so you don't need to have so much carbs.
Yeah, I think this is a very big one. It's a very important one. Really reduce the carbs, because you know how after you've had a long day of work, you just want to chill in front of the TV. Yeah, a lot of visceral fat gets put on.
Right, and most of our favorite snacks are carbs, nuts,
yes,
or
it's true.
chips or ice cream. Yeah. Okay, so we've come to our final topic. So we've spoken about nutrition, eating, like having the right nutrition to burn. We've spoken about having the right proportions of food to burn, the right timing to burn, and now how can we have supplements or some things to enhance our metabolisms to help us burn throughout the day, right? Okay, so the first one is Life Pack, which gives just a very baseline, solid micronutritional foundation to make sure that all your bases are covered. So with this vitamin, okay, you have this supplement. You have 40 different multivitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, all in this one supplement. Okay, and it's the equivalent of eating this big pile of vegetables and fruits in a day. Okay, so like what Jeff mentioned, if you don't have a good solid micronutritional foundation, you can consider this and ask the person who invited you here. The next thing you want to look at is metabolism, boosting our metabolism. So these products will help you increase your baseline metabolism to help you burn throughout the day. Yeah. The first one is Jumpstart, which gives a really powerful metabolic kick to you. It's got 4 amazing ingredients inside, all natural: prickly pear, saffron, pomegranate, and red orange, and all of which boost our metabolism. Okay, this is extremely effective. People immediately feel a boost when they exercise. They feel that they're burning more, and people have gotten incredible results through this, overall raising their baseline metabolism. Tea green is also another one that we use. Basically, this is highly purified green tea extract from the edges of baby green tea leaves. Okay, and 1 capsule is equivalent to drinking 7 cups of green tea. Okay, without the caffeine, so it's absolutely safe. Okay, and a benefit for this one is not only does it increase your baseline metabolism, it actually helps with immunity. Okay, and I found this out. I found the metabolism. I've known that this is amazing for immunity because I haven't been to the doctor, I don't know, since I was 17, and I usually take this in place of Panadol because it's all natural and super effective for staving off colds. But one day I found that, hey, actually it has a metabolic or weight loss boost. right? Fat burning effect. Because what happens was, I think there was a period during flu season when I was trying to recover, or I just wanted to prevent falling sick. So I started taking a lot of this. I started taking probably about eight capsules a day, like 5 to 8 capsules a day. And lo and behold, I just in that 1 month, I think I lost like maybe 3, 4 kilos. Yeah, just unintentionally doing what I usually do. Yeah, so about 3, I think. Okay, so these are 2 amazing supplements. Okay, the final one is R squared. Okay, which also helps with energy and detox. G, do you want to?
Yeah, I love this product. This is one of my favorite products. Okay, because R square is about energy, right? Not baseline metabolic rate and all that. Those are yes, but it's about energy, and it's particularly good for those of us who are 40 and beyond. Okay, why? Because R square addresses the energy center of every cell. You know, the cells, the energy center is something called the mitochondria. The R square reconditions every cell's mitochondria. So every cell will have more energy. Now, when the cell has more energy, guess what? It's more active, it repairs itself, it does its function better. So people who have gone on this, they found that, wow, you know, the insulin level, that their diabetic level seems to drop, their hair seems to turn black, you know, all those things start to happen. But we're really talking about the energy here, you know, and it's not about drinking caffeine, right, which is a drug. It's not about taking whatever the glucose drink, which is about a glucose spike in your blood. This is about your whole body just having more energy.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. And you know, if you notice, there are 2 key ingredients down here as cordyceps and ginseng, both of which are extremely well-known and powerful ingredients for boosting metabolism and also enhancing your energy, right? So this is something that for overall in your diet, your exercise throughout the day, this will really help you in terms of your burning fat and increasing your metabolism. Okay, so we've got one final secret for you, which I'm going to ask Jeff to share, and this is something that really will tie everything together. So today we just spoke about one aspect of burning fat, burning, losing weight, trimming, getting our ideal body and maintaining our health. But this final secret will help tie everything together and give you a holistic picture, not just diet, but exercise, everything. Okay.
I love it. Okay, and the final secret is 5 secrets. Okay, it's 5 secrets, and it's on Saturday, this Saturday at 1:15 p.m. You know, we're not doing this Saturday Zoom, but it's about the eating that we've talked about today, but it's also about an active lifestyle. It's also talking about a holistic view of how we can have the not just the body, but the health that we want, you know, and the youth and the vitality that we want. Okay, so it's going to be just great.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, G. Yeah, come for this. You know, it's going to teach you how to compress and enhance all the methods that we've spoken about today and get the same results. You know, let's say if you're going to the gym for 3 to 5 years, to compress that and transform your body completely in just 90 days.